Hi, and welcome to this little, well, I've put it in the helpful health tip playlist, but I'm not sure how helpful it will be except to tell you not to overdo dancing. I have been doing I've been trying to do 10,000 steps every day, and I decided I was going to add in some dancing to my day because I love to dance. So put on 70s music and just, the playlist just jumps from one old song to another and I have a whale of a time. So I was doing it maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Everything was going fine. And then on a couple of days ago, I decided I was going to up the ante and I was going to do it a second time that day. And I really, went for it. My arms were going. And it's when I do my arm exercises, because I don't go to the gym anymore, so like really firming up the arms and doing all the movements. And yesterday I could hardly move. My arms were aching, my legs were aching, everything was aching, my neck is aching, absolutely everything was aching. And I hardly slept last night because my body just trying to turn it was aching. This morning, trying to come downstairs, my body was aching, my knees were hurting. And I thought, gee whiz, what's this all about? And, I was in danger of falling into poor me. In fact, I think I had fallen into poor me. And why is this happening to me? And why is my body hurting so much? And I can hardly move and I can hardly get up and I can hardly sit down. But then I did take some willow, which is a batch flower remedy for feeling sorry for yourself, feeling resentful. Life's unfair. Why me? Why me when I was enjoying my dancing so much and you've paid me back, you've punished me this way. So I decided to turn it around, or to try and turn it around to actually my muscles still work. These muscles that are aching, which are still aching today, still work. They're still there. They just haven't been used in decades in the way that I was using them 2 days ago. I just haven't used them in that intensity for decades. But the fact that they are painful means they are still there. They are still working. And if I just gently move today, I didn't really move much yesterday, but if I gently move today and just, do all the movements today, but just in a very gentle way, so that, it reminds my muscles that I'm still here, I'm still using them, then I can probably build up those muscles, build up the stamina in those muscles. So I've decided it's a very positive sign to have this pain. And I know it's a positive sign from when I used to go to the gym for the first time after a long time, and you would ache, your arms would ache, or your abdomen would ache after a class that you'd done that was focusing on your core. So I know this pain, but it was just so much of it. and anyway, the helpful tip is don't overdo it. There's kind of my number one thing is don't overdo it. But the second thing is that I think we can up our exercise, we can up our muscle strength, we can tune into our bodies and our muscles, and we can find out how to make them work again. My tightest muscles just now are right at the top of my thighs. I guess it's part of my quads, and they're really, really tight today. And it's like, okay, well, what kind of stretch can I do to try to loosen this off? Because my usual stretches just, weren't doing it. So, I had to kind of play around while I was standing up to see which kind of stance would stretch that bit of the muscle. And I did it. So it's about communicating with your body. Not going, poor me, which was yesterday. Although I was laughing about it because it was self-inflicted. It's a bit like being at a party, drinking too much and having a hangover the next day. It was fun at the time and now you're paying for it. Well, that was like me with, my 2 dancing bouts 2 days ago. I had a great time doing all that dancing. And then, boy, did I pay for it. I had the dancing hangover of my lifetime yesterday. And today it has loosened off a little bit as the day has gone on. When I got up this morning, I thought, oh, here we go again. But as I say, I have taken my willow and I'm not feeling sorry for myself anymore. And I just thought I would share it with you. So pain isn't always a bad thing. Pain is our body showing us something about, what's going on with our body. And I think if we pay attention to it and we're gentle with it and we thank it for the information, then we can work with it. So that's my hint today is, listen to your body and don't overdo the dancing. And yeah, my 5 minutes is up. I like to keep these short. Anyway, namaste. Love to you all. Bye now. Bye.